really takes her track seriously.
I see it as a career for me, so every time I get on the track, I try to be real focused and think of it as my job, because that's really what I want to do. So that's why I think of it as work. I mean, it's fun a lot of times when I come to practice with the girls, but I want to make a career out of it, so it's more of a job for me.
Richards moved to the United States from Jamaica at the age of 12, and of course in Jamaica they take track very seriously as a whole.
They do, but she has decided to compete for the United States, and Bev got a real gem when she got Sanya Richards, because this woman was the U.S. Prep Athlete of the Year last year, competed at the World Junior Championships, gained a silver medal there. So when she comes in, it's like getting a very, very experienced athlete. She's not like the average freshman.
And she is in the middle, lane 5. And you see Texas there, 7, 8, and 9 on the lane assignments. And Sanya Richards told me that she likes being the favorite. And one of the things she's learned as a freshman from some of the other runners is that she's not going to be on every meet. She's not going to be perfect, but she wants to peak here today.
She definitely does, and she has that ability. She is mainly a 400-meter runner, so when you watch the NCAA championships, don't be surprised to see this woman running at 400 meters, because that is her main event. Now, also in this race, LaKendra Ivory from Baylor is also running very well. And another note, Texas has 5 women in this race. They're going to see an awful lot of white and burnt orange. They are hoping to gain major points in this particular event. Laverne Jones in lane number 4, also of Oklahoma, trying to jump in there and grab some points away from the University of Texas. But it's going to be awful tough. As I mentioned earlier in some of the other races, when you have a program, when you can have so many athletes training together every day, it's very, very easy to stay sharp, because you've got some great competition every single day at the track. Right in the center of your track, Sanya Richards from Texas. On her right, Laverne Jones, Oklahoma. On her left, LaKendra Ivory, Baylor. But also keep your eye on lane number 3. That's Aaliyah Williams, the senior from Texas. She's the defending champion.
And there they go in the women's 100-meter dash. And Jones is in the lead. But here comes Richards. Richards pouring it on. Richards wins it for Texas.
Sanya Richards ran a very, very mature race, and as I keep mentioning, while this young woman is a freshman, she is probably one of the most experienced athletes at this competition with her worldwide experience. She ran a very good race. She did not get a particularly good start, and one thing for sure, she's not usually a 100-meter runner. She's usually a 400-meter runner, so she did not get out with the likes of Laverne Jones from Oklahoma on her right side. Then on the right side of your screen, Aaliyah Williams, the defending champion from Texas, also gets out very well. But Sanya Richards bides her time. She stays relaxed. She pours it on at the end and she's able to get the win.
Wow, she put it into another gear there at the end.
Take a look at how fast these women are running. That's Aaliyah Williams on the right side of your screen of Texas, who's out front there. But here comes Sanya Richards at the right time.
And the freshman from Texas, Sanya Richards, is with Patty Smith.
Sanya, you really came on strong at the end and kicked it in. You ran a great race, and Carol up there is talking about really what a mature race that you ran.
Thank you very much. The girl from Oklahoma got out ahead of me, and I was just like, stay relaxed, and I just waited till I got up in out of my drive phase, and I knew my top end's the best part of my race, so I just relaxed and ran a smooth race.
Thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
Sanya Richards, the winner in the women's 100-meter with a time of 11:39. And it was Laverne Jones of Oklahoma in second, Aaliyah Williams of Texas in third. For more on the field events, let's send it down to Patty. Billy Fobbs of Texas A&M, the Big 12 record. Terrence Newman of Kansas State won it each of the last 2 years, a football player. And this year, DeBrian Blanton was a pretty good football player in high school as a running back, and he's a freshman, and he is ranked number 4 in the country and the favorite in this event.
He sure is. They offered him a scholarship at OU to play football, but I think he looked around and said, you know what, I'm a little skinny to be going up against those college boys. He decided that he wanted to run track only at the University of Oklahoma, and he is ranked #1 in the conference.
And it would mean a lot for him to win here. He's from Forney, Texas, just a 3-hour drive from Austin, and he has a lot of friends and family in attendance. Brendan Christian of Texas is another athlete we will watch closely. See the fastest 100-meter high school student in the country.
Yes, he finished 4th in the Track and Field News voting for Prep Athlete of the Year last year from Austin, Texas. So he definitely has some fans in the stands here. He is one of the top-ranked 100-meter runners in the conference. And
Texas senior Trey Gardner really is a player that, or an athlete that everybody looks up to on the Texas team, and he talked about the keys to victory in the men's 100-meter dash.
Need to key in on my start, of course, which I always do pretty well in that. I think from my transition phase from about the 60 to the 80, I need to, really stay tall, keep my hips under me. One of the main things is I can't think about any of the other runners while I'm running.
Last year, Gardner finished 2nd in the Big 12, the 100-meter dash, and he is in the #6 spot as far as the lane assignments.
Trey Gardner scored 11 points for Texas last year at the Big 12 championships. And boy, they had a great recruiting class, and he has all he can handle with all these freshmen right around him.
He started at Baylor, but transferred after the 2000 season to Texas. Both of his parents went to the University of Texas.
I bet you they said I told you so. Don't you hate it when that happens?
And there they go in the men's 100-meter dash. It's going to be close, but in lane 4, DeBrian Blanton pulling out in front, and it is close. Blanton appears to be the winner.
Wow, he got an incredible start, and I think he shocked everyone else in the race, and that can happen. In the 100 meters, you have to make sure you concentrate on running your own race, and DeBrian Blanton got out of the blocks so well. In fact, he probably wasn't headed up the entire race.
So Blanton doing the job.
See Blanton kind of on the right side of your stream in the colors of Oklahoma. Right there, he already has a couple of strides on Brendan Christian from Texas. And right here, he is in his running form. Christian closes on him a little bit at the end, but runs out of real estate. Blanton on the right side of your screen, Christian on the left side of your screen. He's trying to close his Christian, but he is not able to catch DeBrian Blanton.
Well, Blanton had to be feeling the pressure there, and let's hear what he has to say as he is down with Patty Smith. Patty?
DeBrian, you said whoever wins the 100 is the best sprinter out here, and today that was you.
Right, I mean, I was motivated before the race. I saw myself running the race the whole time I was warming up. I knew if I got a good start, I can finish it off.
Thank you so much, and congratulations.
Thank you.
So congratulations to DeBrian. And now we will have the women's 400-meter. Remember, they won 3 straight titles from 97 to 99 and trying to get back as the champion. Kansas, the 2-time defending champs, pretty far behind in 3rd. The men's 800-meter race is just about to get underway. The Big 12 record set by Derek Peterson of Missouri back in 1999. And Jonathan Johnson, the favorite from Texas Tech, is the defending Big 12 champion. And just a sophomore, ranked #2 in the country.
It used to be at a time where I think about the whole another lap thing, and man, I got a 600 or 400 left, and then another 200. But now I go out there with the mindset that after this 400, I just take one portion at a time. And after the 400 nowadays, I got another lap to go, but I'm strong enough to do it. And a lot of people, like I said, don't like going out that hard, so it really plays in my favor.
He's an outstanding runner and likes to run from the front. As a freshman, he ran 1:45.81, which is the 2nd best time ever by a freshman. He's very talented.
Lane assignments with Johnson in the number 3 lane.
Which really doesn't matter that much in this particular competition. Johnson just wants to get out, get clear of everyone else, and run well.
Johnson from Abilene, Texas. I mentioned that time that he had 1:45.81, and that was a school record that had been standing since 1981.
Well, Jonathan Johnson choosing Texas Tech because it was pretty close to where he grew up in Abilene, Texas.
There they go in the 800-meter race. The pacing has to be really important, isn't it?
It really is, but one thing that's also important is that you run your own race. The athletes running around the turn here, now they can cut towards the pole. Jonathan Johnson liking to be out in front. Right now, he's got an awful lot of athletes running right around him. He's not a very tall athlete, but he knows how to run, and he is very, very strong.
Baldwin Stapleton is right behind him from Oklahoma.
Really, this is Jonathan's race to win or lose. And if he had a little bit more competition, I would say that Derek Peterson's record might be in jeopardy. Let's see how things gear out going into the final lap.
They finish up 400 meters.
They go through in around 52 seconds, which is a pretty decent pace. So the guys are moving out there.
Big 12 meet record 1:47.39. You can see that Johnson is starting to increase his lead.
A challenge for second into second is done.
Timothy Dunn of Missouri now in second.
I'll tell you, these athletes are still very, very close. There's still quite a few guys who could actually reach out and snap. Johnson now trying to put a little bit of space in between him and the other athletes on the track.
It's going to be very close for second, it looks like. Johnson trying to increase his lead. He's around the final turn, down the stretch now. Dunn is losing some energy down there, and he's not going to finish in second. Johnson wins it for Texas Tech in 1:48.13.
Not a very fast time, but I'm sure he's happy with the win. He went out and ran his race, which is to lead pretty much from start to finish. Every time someone came up on him, he showed them exactly what type of athlete he was. He put a little space in between he and the other athletes, and at the end, nobody could compete with his kick.
Stapleton of Oklahoma finishes second. It was Dunn in second, as you see from Missouri. He just kind of fell apart at the end.
Well, he came up on Jonathan Johnson down the backstretch, tried to make some leeway, get in a position to strike. But right here, Jonathan Johnson, look at his arm carriage here. His arms are moving very well. He still looks very, very relaxed, and that is how he is able to power away from the rest of the field.
So Jonathan Johnson, no surprise that he wins it, and he is with Patty Smith.
Jonathan, you ran the kind of race you wanted to. You said you wanted to get out in the lead early. You didn't want to run with crowds, and you ran that race the whole way.
Yes, I did. We got to get out early. That way I stay out of trouble. Won't trip or some kind of wicked thing happen. So that was the game plan for me, to go out front, keep the pace, and finish strong.
Thanks so much. Congratulations.
Thank you. Bye.
Jonathan Johnson wins the 800-meter rather easily for Texas Tech. Stapleton comes on strong at the end to finish in second, and Mims of Kansas is third. Well, here we go with the women's 400-meter hurdles. Big 12 record set in 1998. And that was Rosa Jolivet of Texas A&M. And in this race, Alyssa Aiken of Texas, who finished fourth in the 400-meter hurdles last year, hopes to do better this time.
Yeah, she's in a good position. She's already run the 100-meter hurdles earlier today, picking up some points for the Longhorns.
And her teammate, Raisin McIntosh, and you know how important it is to be in tune with somebody you're close with? It's important for Raisin McIntosh and her coach.
From meet to meet, I'm pretty much trying to stay grounded and listening to what my coach is telling me. for me to meet. And during the meet, I try to focus on what she's trying to tell me. If I listen to what she says to me, then I will run well. If I don't, I won't. It's as simple as that. So I try to execute the plan that she has for me and to try to just win every race that I can possibly win. I'm not going to win every time, but I want to give it 100% every time I'm out there.
Raisin McIntosh in lane 5, the defending Big 12 champion. Keisha Downer in lane number 6, medal winner at the 99 Pan Am Games and the 98 World Junior Championships.
In fact, Keisha ran the 400 meters last year. She was defending champion at 400 meters, but decided to run the 400-meter hurdles this year. You see her name, Nalia. She goes by Keisha. So we're going to call her by what she would like to be called by.
Well, Raisin McIntosh, it'll be interesting to see her start because she told me that in the prelim she got off to a faster start and she didn't like that.
Well, the 400-meter hurdles was a very patterned race. Athletes running between 13 and 15 strides, sometimes between the hurdles. And if you get out of stride, you get out of pattern, you'll really have trouble towards the end of the race.
The women's 400-meter hurdles is underway.
The thing is, you have to remember, this is a 400-meter hurdle, so you know how tired you are at the end of an open 400. Imagine having to go over 30-inch barriers also. Right now, Elisa Akins is moving very well. She's moved up almost alongside Raisin McIntosh. Keisha Downer also moving very well on the left side of your screen. Right now, Keisha Downer leading the race. You can tell by who's leading the race by whose foot hits the ground, the opposite side of the hurdle first. Raisin McIntosh just put on a big spurt.
Downer still in front. And here comes McIntosh. And McIntosh went over that hurdle and really is turning it into another gear. So McIntosh, the junior, smooth as she goes towards the finish line. McIntosh wins it by plenty. And it is Downer of Texas finishing second.
Ran a very, very good race, and I think she was a little bit apprehensive in the start of the race because she did not go out very fast. But right when it got down to hurdle 6, 7, and 8, she started to make her move. Coming off the last turn, she is coming off those hurdles very, very quickly. You can tell the technique is pretty decent because she's a 100-meter hurdler, and she is powering through these hurdles. Her technique is right on because she is not taking any stutter steps. She is keeping her running form right down towards the end of the race. Take a look at Raisin McIntosh on the right side of your screen. See how quickly she gets over the hurdles down on the ground and continues her running form.
Coming up, it's the men's 400-meter hurdles at the Big 12 Outdoor Track and Field Championships on Fox Sports Net. Well, in the women's 400-meter hurdles, Raisin McIntosh wins it for Texas. That's the 5th consecutive year that a Texas runner is able to win in the 400-meter hurdles. In the men's 400-meter hurdles, it's Baylor that has the best runners, and the Big 12 record is held by a Baylor Bear, Bayano Kamani, back in 2001, a couple of years ago. Of course, Baylor has great tradition. Michael Johnson was a sprinter there. And Jordan Lewis is the favorite, the senior from Shafter, California, who was a valedictorian of his high school class in California. And right next to him is Seth Billy, his teammate.
Jordan Lewis and Seth Billy are the #1 and number 2 400-meter hurdlers in this conference. Now, they've been training together, and let's see how they do. Jordan Lewis is at Baylor via Fresno Pacific in Bakersfield Junior College, and Seth Billy, who is from Barbados, is a transfer from Wyoming. So Baylor's picking up quite a few good athletes by way of transfer.
Brian McDonald is part of the threesome in the middle for Baylor.
Also take a look at in lane 2, 3, and in lane number 7. Nebraska also has 3 athletes in this race. If you think back that this is a team competition, Nebraska hoping that their 3 athletes can score some points.
We begin the men's 400-meter hurdles.
Mark Harris and Andy Nelson, Gordon.
Carol, how important is it to be smooth over the hurdles, especially at the beginning of the race?
It really is very important to get your stride pattern down, because once you start stutter stepping, it throws your entire race off. You see on the right side of your screen, Jordan Lewis, then Seth Billy, Brian McDonald, all from Baylor. And actually the Baylor Bears are running very well in Seth Billy and Brian McDonald. Jordan Lewis off the pace a little bit.
One of the Bears pulled up.
Yes, I think someone might have gone down. This is a difficult race for that.
And Seth Billy is pulling out in front. But here comes Lewis. Lewis gaining ground. It's going to be close. And Lewis turns it on at the end. I think Lewis won it. It was very close.
One thing he didn't do is lean for the tape. If he would have leaned for the tape, he would have definitely gotten the win.
And he just did get the win, as Lewis beats Billy by 2/100ths of a second.
And Baylor's third athlete, Brian McDonald, was the one who went down in the middle of the last turn. The 400-meter hurdles is so difficult. You see Seth Billy out in front, but starting to struggle. Take a look at Jordan Lewis right behind him, but look at his running technique. Look how he is closing on Seth Billy. Seth Billy just running out of gas.
So Jordan Lewis of Baylor the winner at 51:33.
Nebraska picking up 3rd, 4th, and 8th place. Let's see what happened over these hurdles. Got a little bit close, did Brian McDonald. Actually, he drug his leg over the outside of the hurdle, so he would have also been disqualified. Right there, looks like he grabs his leg, not knowing what to do. He pushes the hurdle down and disappointed. Perhaps some type of hamstring injury.
It looks like.
Have to find out later.
Maybe a cramp. He seems to be okay now. It was very close in the men's 400-meter hurdles. Jordan Lewis, in the end, just edges out his teammate Seth Billy of Baylor. Well, here in Austin, they should have a lot to cheer about in the women's 200-meter dash, which is coming up next with 7 of the 9 racers from Texas. Critics are calling the Best Damn Sports Show period a 2-hour frat party with irreverent skits, insightful interviews, and sharp locker room banter. The Best Damn Sports Show period every weeknight at 8 p.m. and late night only on Fox Sports Net. And now we have the women's 200-meter race. And this is a race that Aaliyah Williams of Texas won in 2000, but in 2001 and 2002, Tiffany Green of Texas Tech won it. And now Texas has an excellent chance again as Aaliyah Williams is on the track once again.
Yes, Aaliyah Williams, this is her last individual race at the University of Texas. She had an outstanding career, 12-time 2000 Big 12 Athlete of the Year, 7-time Big 12 champion. So she is going out with a bang.
And Latoya Phelps right next to her in lane number 4.
Yes, Latoya Phelps, one of the fabulous freshmen for the University of Texas. She's run 23:44. And as we mentioned, she is one of 7 University of Texas athletes in this race.
And Sonia Richards, who already has shown that she is terrific. She's the only Big 12 athlete to rank in the top 5 in the 100, 200, and 400.
She is an outstanding athlete and definitely the class of this field. I look for her to lead the way all the way through this race. She's already run 22:86 this year, which is quite a bit faster than the other athletes in this race. A big race for the University of Texas in terms of team points.
Richards in lane number 5. When you have that many teammates next to each other in the lanes, it must get pretty competitive just even thinking about the way you practice against each other.
Well, you know what? That's the advantage that the University of Texas has right now, that they have so many good athletes at their university. So that means every single day they have someone very quick to do their starts against, someone quick to do their running competition against. Because when you're a sprinter, the only way to get faster is to run fast. And if you don't have anybody to train with, it really makes things difficult.
Leading are set to run.
Down in lane number 1, Ashley Williams, the freshman, had the fastest time in the conference, 23:05 coming into this competition. Did not have a very good qualifying round and ended up in lane 1. It'll be difficult for her to run fast.
They are racing in the women's 200-meter.
Sanya Richards moving very well in the middle of the track. Also Aaliyah Williams. Let's see how it comes off the turn. Aaliyah Williams leading right now.
Richards coming on, though, and Richards will take over and win it. You called it. Sanya Richards, she wins it.
Definitely the class of the field, and the 200 meters is a very difficult race to run because towards the end of the race, the athletes tend to tie up. Sanya Richards, being a 50.400 meter runner, has the strength to hold her form when she gets close to the finish line. You see it coming around the turn. Sanya Richards, you barely see her in the middle of the track. It's running well, but it's Aaliyah Williams, the senior from Texas, who leads into the home straight. At this point, Sanya Richards knows she has about 100 meters left in order to bide her time. On the outside, though, LaKendra Ivory of Baylor is also running a very good race, but you do not see her. Sanya Richards on the left side of your screen right now is moving past Aaliyah Williams on the right side of your screen to take the win.
Give a lot of credit to Ivory from lane 9 to come in second, but the story, Sanya Richards, the winner.
Sanya, you pretty much dominated here today out here. This was a great race. Once again, you turned it on at the end.
Yeah, I was a little tired coming in. I also wanted to stay relaxed and get the victory for my team. And I saw Lee on the inside of me running real well. So I had to stay relaxed and came home pretty strong.
We've talked about all day the confidence that you're running with. You told us earlier that you get that confidence from your father.
Yes, I do. My dad has always instilled in me that as long as I train hard, that I run well. And I always remember that whenever I step on the track, that I've trained as hard as I can. And if anybody comes out here and beat me, I have to go back and train harder.
Congratulations.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
So no surprise that Sanya Richards wins, but how about LaKendra Ivory from lane number 9 finishing second, and Aaliyah Williams in third from Texas. It's a nice evening here in Austin, Texas, and the men's 200-meter race is about to get underway. The Big 12 record held by Brandon Couts of Baylor, and this is really a wide-open race.
It sure is a wide open race, and the thing is there's an awful lot of people in it who are very, very good, and it's going to be a tough one for us to call from up here.
Albert Booker of Texas Tech, one of the top competitors, a sophomore from Trent, Texas, and a three-sport athlete in high school.
And he was second in the 400 meters earlier today. That's another reason why this event is so difficult. A lot of these athletes are coming back to run their second event.
Including DeBrian Blanton of Oklahoma. Trey Gardner, he's also been running.
In this event this year.
Blanton from Oklahoma, the freshman, ranked number 12 in the country. And in the prelim, he trailed at 100 meters in this 200-meter dash, but he turned it on. He said he usually leads it all the way.
Well, you know, when you have a lot of races to run, you know that you don't need to do too much in the qualifying. You want to make sure you get in a good position so that you get a good lane, but that's it. There's Brandon Christian, who is out in lane number 6. Now, he was second in the 100 meters earlier today to Blanton.
And out of Kansas, Leo Bookman, the junior and a football player, plays in the Kansas football team at wide receiver, being looked at by the NFL.
Yes, and defending champion also. He came into the competition last year up in Missouri. Nobody expected him to do anything, and he ran away with the race. So look for him to be a factor here.
In the indoor competition, he was 7th in the NCAAs.
Very talented. So
take your pick in the lane assignments this is really wide open. Any of these runners can win it.
Well, out of the 9 runners, 8 of them have already run in a race
The
this
100-meter champion just a little earlier this evening.
So, and lane number 8 is open. Jeremy Werner, who competed in the 400 earlier, was 3rd. A little disappointed in his. You see that open lane did not come back for this 200 meters. The question is, will he be able to compete in the 4x400 meter relay, which is coming up very soon? He's a very big part of the Baylor Bears 4x4 relay team. The key to this race is seeing who can reach the first 100 meters first. If you're in control off of the turn, usually you're in a good position down the home stretch.
There they go in the men's 200 meter. And a great start. You can see bursting on the outside, it is Leo Bookman. Looks like a race between Bookman and Christian. And Christian out in front. Brendan Christian wins it.
The freshman wins it. He ran a very, very good race, and I will tell you, he had a distinct advantage having Leo Bookman out in front of him. An outstanding time for Brendan Christian. Coming off the turn, there is Christian in lane number 6 and Bookman in lane number 7. Christian was able to really feed off of Bookman off of the turn. At this point, he really gets into his running technique. Bookman really fighting himself down the home stretch. And the tighter you get, you see Bookman on the left side of your screen, the slower you run. Brandon Christian really able to hold his form, stay a lot more relaxed. You see Bookman's head weaving back and forth. You're losing speed when you're doing that type of movement.
And at 20:29, that is a new Big 12 meet record and a Myers Stadium record as well. So a great job by Brendan Christian, who was born in the Virgin Islands and moved here to the United States at the age of 3.
Brendan, you set a meet record. You ran a great race. How did it feel coming out?
It felt pretty good. I just tried to stay real relaxed. Had to run the turn hard because I knew who my competition was.
How much did you feed off Leo Bookman running next to you?
I fed off of, well, I had to feed off of Bookman in lane 7 because I know he's good. He's a national champion. And I knew I had to stay with him if I wanted to win the race.
Congratulations. Great job.
So it was a 2-man race, and Brendan Christian just does edge out Leo Bookman with the new Big 12 meet record at 20:29. So the freshmen continue to do very well here at the Outdoor Big 12 Track and Field Championships in Austin, Texas. And coming up, the women's 4x400 meter relay on Fox Sports Net. The women's 4x400 meter relay. And this is an event that has been dominated in recent years by Texas. And they're expected to win it again.
They sure are. They have a very, very strong team in Sanya Richards leading off to Keisha Downer, to Natasha Staten, to Raisin McIntosh. And with a team like that, I would expect that Big 12 championship record to go down.
Texas has won 4 consecutive titles.
And they are also very good at the national level.
In the middle in the lane assignments.
Big 12 meet record 3:29.11. These athletes are definitely capable of breaking that mark.
That was set by Baylor in 1998.
They're leading off with their best quarter miler, Sanya Richards, hoping to get out in a big lead. Richards right in the middle of your screen. Athletes from Texas have changed their uniform. They were wearing white earlier. There's Sanya Richards moving up very quickly on the Baylor athlete.
She's already won 2 gold medals here in the 100 and 200 meters.
Actually, Sanya running events that she does not normally run. She is known as a 400-meter runner. Won a gold medal, silver medal in the 2002 World Junior Championships and has gotten Texas off to an outstanding start. She has blown away the field for the first leg. Texas times is really going after that conference record.
Now the handoff will go to Keisha Downer for Texas.
Looked like she ran right around 50 seconds for that first leg. An outstanding leg for Sanya Richards after a very, very long day.
Carol, when you're this far out in front and you don't have anybody near you, you're just racing the clock, how do you do that mentally?
It's very, very difficult to keep at a really fast pace when you're so far out in front of you. You just really have to think back to the times when you did pace running in your workouts, where you did different types of 200s and you did 400s on a particular pace, and try to keep yourself moving, keep your arms pumping, stay relaxed, and try to keep pushing towards the next person. Right here, coming down the home stretch, that's the easiest part of running ahead, because you see your teammate waiting at the line. A lot of times they're waving you in, trying to get you to run a little bit faster to get the baton.
And that teammate is Natasha Staton, the junior from Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, who wants to earn a PhD and become a history professor.
Well, Texas has about a 10-meter lead, and there was no way that anybody was going to stay with them after their first leg, and it looks like they are opening up the lead even further.
Kansas State for Texas.
The final leg will be run by Raisin McIntosh.
He hasn't done enough work today, I guess.
She's only won 2 gold medals.
Yeah, winning the 100 hurdles and the most difficult race, the 400-meter hurdles. You see Natasha Staton coming down the home stretch, still looking very, very strong.
And this might be more of a race for second place, as Raisin McIntosh takes it. Remember, the Big 12 meet record is 3:29:11.
I definitely think that is well within the range of these women. I'm sure they were hoping for a little bit more competition, because, as we mentioned, the competition is really going to help them out.
Now, Baylor just took over second as LaCadrin Ivory was able to surpass Kansas and Kim Clark. It's going to be an easy win for Raisin McIntosh and Texas in the 4x400-meter relay.
Question is, can she make it to the line before 3:29 and change? They still have a shot at the record. I'm not sure if they're going to get it, though.
And she will not get it, but Texas wins easily. And a good race for second. And it is going to be very close. Is it Kansas or Baylor? Baylor just does get it done, barely by 6/100ths of a second over Kansas. That was great.
Wow, it really was. LaKendra Ivory really was able to hold off Kim Clark right at the finish line. But definitely Texas is the class of the field. They'll be looking to try to win back their national championship. There's Sanya Richards, who got that team off to such an incredible start. There was no one in the race that was anywhere near the class of these women, the Texas Longhorns.
So the Texas women continue to do well here on their home track. Very impressive.
Take a look at Raisin McIntosh right here. She sees the finish line, and while she's trying to keep her arms and legs pumping as quickly as possible, as we mentioned earlier in the race, it's very, very difficult when you know you've got the race won. Also, she's already won the 100-meter hurdles, the 400-meter hurdles, and now she's finished.
14:38. Raisin, your third win of the day. You ran away with that one, no competition. Had you had a little bit more competition, you think you had a shot at the record?
Yeah, I mean, I just want to come out here and have a fun, easy run with the team and just enjoy it. I mean, not exactly as fast as we've been running, but it'll do for conference. And we just wanted to get some team camaraderie. Wanted to try Tasha Staton on the leg. She ran really well today, and you know, just we don't want to catch on fire. We just want to have fun.
Was it worth the one-year wait? You came so close last year, and you guys dominated today.
It was well worth the wait. That's it.
Congratulations.
Thank you. Welcome.
From Colorado, Jorge Torres, 14:16:37.
Well, Texas wins it, and it may not have been a Big 12 meet record, but it was one of their better races, actually the best that they've had since '99. as Texas wins yet again. That is the 5th consecutive title for Texas in this event. Coming up, the men's 4x400 meter relay, and Baylor will be looking for its 6th consecutive title at the Big 12 Outdoor Track and Field Championships on Fox Sports Net. Welcome back to beautiful Austin, Texas, the Big 12 Outdoor Track and Field Championships at Mike Myers Stadium. And the women's 4x400 meter relay has Texas as the winner, and the Longhorns clinch the title for the Big 12 as they win it easily over Nebraska. Kansas State, the 2-time defending champs, coming in 3rd. We are just about ready for the men's 4x400 meter relay. Oklahoma with a Big 12 record in 1997. And certainly going into this, Baylor would be heavily favored since they have won the last 5 titles. But they may be challenged here because they have a few problems with injuries. Brian McDonald went down in the 400 meter, and Jeremy Warner also went down in the 400 meter. I should say that McDonald went down in the hurdles, and that's going to be difficult for Baylor to overcome.
Definitely. Baylor's now running with Joel Martin, Robbie Quiroga, Jamin Sarzu, and Daryl Williamson. The 2 inside legs are legs that do not usually run on this team. Second leg junior Robbie Quiroga was on the team last year that had a silver medal at the NCAA championships, but their third leg, Jamin Sarzu, is a freshman. So they are going to be challenged, I believe, by the University of Texas, who's in lane number 6.
And Texas Tech actually has a real good finisher in Jonathan Johnson, who won the men's 800 meter.
Definitely. If Texas Tech can stay close, you don't know what Jonathan Johnson could do. Now, the University of Texas is leading off with Ashton Collins going to Quincy Bowles, Brendan Christian, the 100-meter champion, the 200-meter champion, and Aaron Collins. So they have a very strong team, and that's the team they've been running with all year long.
The twins are bookending this race for Texas at the beginning and the end, the Collins twins. And the men's 4x400 meter relay is underway.
Take a look at the University of Texas, who is running with an all-freshman team. All 4 of the athletes on this team are freshmen. Joe Martin from Baylor trying to keep the Baylor Bears close. Ashton Collins moving very well. And inside, Albert Booker, who ran well in the 400 meters earlier today for the silver, has moved up and has passed the Baylor Bear on the first leg. So Baylor is struggling already.
That's really going to help Texas Tech as the baton gets passed. And out in front, it is Texas as Quincy Bowles takes it.
Freshman Quincy Bowles competed in the 100 meters earlier today. As Julian Rayburn of Texas Tech flies by him. Also coming up on the outside, Robbie Quiroga of Baylor. Texas has moved back into 3rd position. If they don't watch it, they're going to be in 4th real quick.
Baylor knows if it can get to Daryl Williamson for the final lap of this, then they're going to be in good shape because Williamson is so strong.
Quincy Bowles trying to come back and is passed back into 2nd position for the Longhorns.
How important is the exchange?
The exchange is very important, and out here it's usually not that much of a problem. When you have 2 or 3 people coming in at the same time, the stick has been known to drop to the ground. Texas Tech with Matt Stewart out in front by about 5 meters. Baylor and Texas a little bit back, probably biding their time. They want to see what Matt Stewart is going to do coming into the home stretch. But right now, Brendan Christian is starting to close on Matt Stewart of Texas Tech.
If Stewart could just hang on here, Jonathan Johnson, such a strong runner, is the last one for Texas Tech. It's going to be a great last 400 meters. So Jonathan Johnson takes the baton, and it is really close between Baylor and Texas right now.
It really is, and this is going to be very interesting. Jonathan Johnson is a sophomore for an 800-meter runner and very savvy. He has a lot of strength. On the other hand, you have Aaron Collins, who is Texas's best quarter miler. Let's see what happens here. If Johnson holds Aaron Collins to the outside going around this turn, Collins will be running a little bit more time. Let's see what he has left down the home stretch.
Johnson already won the 800 meters. Can he win it here? And now Baylor coming up. Williamson wants to win this. Here he comes. Williamson bursting out into the lead. And Williamson is able to do it as Baylor wins it. What a job in the finish by Williamson for Baylor.
I'll tell you, Darrell Williamson ran an absolutely outstanding leg. After the third leg, you thought Baylor was out of this competition. He came from behind and ran a very last stretch. Take a look at Darrell Williamson. He swings wide out into lane number 4 almost in order to get a clean run at the home stretch. I think Aaron Collins and Jonathan Johnson were worried about each other. And take a look at Darrell Williamson. Race 100 meters to go. Look how relaxed Darrell Williamson looks. See Jonathan Johnson on the inside struggling. Aaron Collins also struggling.
Williamson told me that he is much more comfortable in the second half of a race, and you could see it there, and the elation as he really took charge. And considering that a couple of his teammates were out with injuries, that is quite a job by Williamson.
Very good job by the Baylor Bears.
And 3:03.90 is the final time as Baylor wins again 6 consecutive titles at the Big 12 Track and Field Championships. And we'll have more right after this on Fox Sports Net. Beyond the Glory's third season takes you inside the hidden world of sports' biggest stars, such as Oscar De La Hoya, Rusty Wallace, Mark Cuban, and Jackie Joyner-Kersee. Beyond the Glory, Sundays at 8 p.m. right here on Fox Sports Net.
We talked earlier in the show about the shot put rivalry between Missouri's Christian Cantwell and Nebraska's Carl Myerscough. The 6'10" defending outdoor champion from Nebraska captured the Big 12 Indoor Championship earlier this year with a remarkable throw of 76 1/4. The Big 12 Outdoor Championship certainly lived up to its billing as both men struggled with the humidity. They had a tough time getting the ball to stick to their neck, and it was a battle to the finish. But it was Cantwell who outthrew his good friend by just 1.5 inches to reclaim from Myerscough his Big 12 title. Very exciting finish. You said it was maybe a little bit too close, a little too exciting for you?
Yeah, you know, Carl's a great competitor, and even with his great competitiveness, I didn't think he was going to throw that far on his last throw. I knew he'd show up and throw a better throw on his last throw, but I didn't think it was going to be that good. And yeah, to tell you the truth, when I turned my last one loose, I didn't think it was going to be good enough to beat his mark until it landed, and then I didn't know. It was too close to tell.
In the men's 4x400 meter relay, it was a great comeback by Baylor and Darrell Williamson despite missing 2 players with injuries, but Texas is the winner of the Big 12 championships as they were able to beat out Texas A&M Nebraska, the defending champs, in third.
To try to win it, and that's what I did. I was aiming to break the record. Mentally, you know, trying to compete against Aaron Aldrich, you know, something to go after, and just didn't have it today. Really thought it great weather, you know, stale wind.
Ladies and gentlemen, the Big 12 Conference and its member institutions.
Looking at the final results in the field events for the men.